Yeah, you're hitting the nail on the head. That kind of incongruence and your love of that kind of story in fiction or in film, and your rejection of it in your real life or in your life. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And so, in a sense, there's I don't want to get too kind of analytical or get too much in kind of the the psychology and the which is can be very valuable, but right now just see that what you're seeing, what you're describing is exactly what I'm talking about. Something in you loves that narrative. And something also loves that narrative in your life. And in a sense, it's hidden because it's kind of transferred onto a distant narrative. And so to recognize that you love that in film, it's not very different. The narrative of our life and the narrative of film, obviously they're very different, but there's a place where they're not. And so it can be, in a sense, a mirror, a way to reflect to you what does this love of this narrative in film show you. Is that possibly, maybe, and I'm saying it for you as a way to look at it, possibly, maybe, there is a love of that in your life as well. And I'm saying don't deny your actual experience of, or your current experience of, you said there's like a rejection, or it's you dislike that you don't find it romantic in your life, but you find it romantic in the movies. And so in a sense, by loving that in movies, you're kind of practicing how to get close to that in your life. I don't know if practicing is the right word, but you're kind of warming up to it. That's not right either, but there's an aspect of this work that there's an aspect of this awakening where you fall completely in love with your story, your narrative, the drama that you so much dislike. And I said in the previous hour, I said that the love comes first. That's needed first, because as with I think the metaphor of the relationship with a child is similar in that you cannot you cannot set a boundary without love. You can, but it's going to be wrong. And so the love is needed first. It needs to be there before there is a pushing back. Yeah, and I would say a little differently in that, because this is something that was quite a surprise for me, that, having spent a lot of years practicing and, practicing acceptance, or I I realized that the acceptance was always there. And so, in a sense, what we're practicing, or what we can practice, is to see what's already there. No, I know. That's why I'm talking about that, because I'm aware that's not how you currently experience or interpret your life or your reality. But I would say it just a little differently, in that instead of the practice of accepting, practice, if anything, looking at the beauty of what is, or looking for the beauty of what is. So, because acceptance also will feel like something that's a bit forced. I have to accept this shit. This is horrible, and I have to accept it. And what I'm talking about is actually acceptance, but it's that word can be interpreted in ways that is just probably not right. And so I'm saying it's more like a love than an acceptance. But again, I'm not asking or directing for one to love something that they don't like. I'm the direction is see that maybe possibly there already is a love there present. And so that requires you to go deeper. Instead of staying on a surface, trying to accept something that's happening at that level, it requires you to go, okay, this isn't, I'm not experiencing this, but this supposedly, possibly is already here. Where is it? And so it requires you to go deeper, to listen or pay attention more in a more refined way, in a more attentive way. And that's when the mind will quiet by itself. And it's not because we're trying to quiet the mind, because at that level we're just going to be fighting, you know, fighting an activity with more activity. Yeah, and listening literally to sound, but also it's a word that can be applied in the sense of attention, awareness, to sensation, to thoughts, to emotions. And so imagine you're listening to an orchestra that's playing, all the instruments are on and they're all playing loud, and then you're asked, find the clarinet in the back. That clarinet is playing the tune of, romance or love. And the mind, let's pretend the violins, all the whole string section is playing like this really loud, noisy mess. And the clarinet in the background is playing this really beautiful, romantic melody. And you're being asked, look for the clarinet. It's playing. You're actually hearing it right now. You just can't. You're not able to find it in the sound, in the cacophony, or in the. I'm saying when things are difficult, or your mind is very active, or think of that as this, the orchestra's gone into like full blast, and there is a sound that I'm, in a sense, tasking you to look for. And that sound is in words, but these are my words. In your words, in your experience, it will probably be very different, but it'll be a kind of love for what is happening. And back to what you brought up about the movie, or your love for the kind of movies that you love, and how you see that kind of narrative in your life and you really dislike it. It's almost like it's showing you the flavor of it. The love of that in movies, like it's reflecting that to you, for you to find that in your life. The beauty of that narrative in your life. Because also only once we fully find that can we master it and change it if we want. Yeah, and that, I would say, take that as the meditation. for you, less about this sense of, I'm going to accept this or quiet the mind or look at the mind, do all of that, but focus more on this incongruence between the stories you find beautiful in film and how that you don't find beauty of that kind in your life. Yeah, and so that shows to you there's some things up. Something, there's a veil. It smells fishy, there's something's up. And so yeah, and look at the temptation to analyze it. It's a belief, or what I'm asking is more specific. Look for the love. Just assume it's there and look for it. But don't convince yourself it's there until you find it. Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's also a way of creating the drama. You're analyzing it in the right direction. Yeah. But keep looking beyond the you're asking the right questions and you're analyzing it. There's a kind of discernment in what you're doing. But still, let it just be a way in which you question your current experience. This kind of analysis will take you to an edge, because you're saying, okay, what if actually, if I am supposedly the creator, then I'm creating this, so that means I like it. Yes, but you still haven't discovered the love of it. You've come to an edge where you discern and question this very stubborn belief or experience that how could you possibly like this? It sucks. That kind of thing. And that is a belief. And so what you just described is through a kind of discernment, some putting together some things I've said, and you trust them enough to kind of go through a process of looking at your experience, and you say, yeah, well, it looks like if I'm the creator, then I'm, and you're seeing that, and you come to that edge. And that's necessary, but there's more, which is, okay, so then if I do like it, where's the experience of liking it? Where's the enjoyment of this? Where's the love of this? I'm not experienced, so keep looking. And that's where you cannot, you can only go so far by analyzing and discerning. At that edge, you need to look. Where is it? It's now. It's here and now. It's that clarinet playing softly behind the strings. And you could be completely shocked, and be prepared for being completely shocked. because there's going to be a loss if you see that. And that's why we don't want to see it. We want to be free, but freedom requires the ending of being bound. And we chose to be bound. Yeah, it's important to kind of clarify your thinking around it, but it's only going to go so far, which is to the end, to that edge where you need to look. You need to actually pay attention and listen, metaphorically, right? I'm using the metaphor of the orchestra. The orchestra is everything you're experiencing right now. All of the sounds of the orchestra metaphorically mean everything you're experiencing right now: sensations, emotions, thoughts. And so right now there is a clarinet playing a tune that is a romantic tune of "I love my life." And Willie's like, "No fucking way." But it's really that astounding. And it's covered in all the other instruments saying, "This sucks, this sucks, this sucks." Shouting. And we are every musician, and we are the conductor and the composer. Yeah, it's infinite. Yeah, it requires humility. It also requires, more importantly, a very radical shift in our interest. Because let's put it this way: if you loved the drama in your life like you love it in the movies, the kind of drama, if you completely, absolutely loved it, would it be a drama? It would completely destroy the taste of despair and drama, or whatever it is that is so difficult. You can't have it both ways. And so you project your love of that narrative onto the movies, you experience it and live it through the movies, so that you can have a true drama in your life. Because if you absolutely fall in love with the drama in your life, the part of your life that you find, extremely difficult, it can no longer be difficult or in that way. It can no longer be drama in that way. It then actually becomes like the drama in the movie, which is it doesn't go very deep. The drama part. And so in that sense, it requires a very big change in our interests. It's almost like if I said it, if I could snap my fingers and the drama of your life ended, a part of you would no, no, no. Yeah, and that's why I really I'm emphasizing don't try to get this now, because you're gonna go to the habit of analyzing.
Right.
Give yourself time to contemplate, to look into it, to ask the question and wonder, how is this possibly happening? Where is this supposed love of this life in the deepest sense?